How about now? How about, yep, I got audio now. All right, we have audio. That was weird. I don't know what happened there, but got audio now. All right, so the other mic wasn't, no idea what happened there. Anyway, we're good to go. We're good to go on audio. All right, minor technical difficulties. Had no idea we had no audio. It's weird. The other mic was working this morning, not working now. This is why you bring backups. All right, guys. I don't remember what I was saying. Anyway, Jimmy Song is going to be joining us in a minute. I believe that's it. I believe that's all we have for today. Is Jimmy Song. Leah is not able to make it. She had other commitments. I did a video this morning with Tyler Jenks on price. Then I had to drive him to the airport. So now I get his house for a couple of days to party. No, just kidding, Tyler. But yeah, but here in Chattanooga, a couple of people here in Chattanooga messaged me a couple of days ago, and I don't remember. I'm sorry, guys. Like, I don't remember where your messages are at this point. I may be free for dinner. I'm not. I was thinking of going down to Atlanta, but I'm too busy for that. It's only 2 hours away. So if you've already messaged me and I said, hey, maybe I can grab dinner, message me again if you have my direct contact. If you don't have my direct contact, then you probably won't be able to reach me. So anyway, so I could potentially be available for dinner tonight. Okay, let's go to screen share. And while I wait for Jimmy, let me just tell him come on anytime. Okay, so Jimmy will be here in like 10 minutes. Okay, so I'll do price first. Let's look at price, then Jimmy will come on for the news. All right, I'll keep an eye on Jimmy. Let's do it. Screen share. Boom. What am I looking at? This guy here. Latest on the conference. Poker is going fast, guys. I believe about 90 people have paid for a seat. I'm still reserving some for celebrities. If the celebrities don't pay up, those seats will open up. The goal is to sell out 100 seats because we only have 10 tables showing up. And conference, hey guys, come out, come to the conference. It's cheaper now. 0.1 Bitcoin price just dropped. Anyway, you guys get the point. The workshops, there's going to be more workshops, and they are going to be a little. I'm going to talk about restructuring the workshops, but there'll be like 2 more added. Right, the moment the conference is over, there'll be like 4 more added right there. Just don't want to bombard registrations early. Some of the potential places, might be coming to Egypt. Might be coming to Hong Kong, might be coming to anyway, maybe Austria. So I'm still debating. Anyway, let's move on with the price. I restarted my computer, so these things are gonna have to load. Here is the, again, monthly chart hasn't changed, still looks bullish, but we have not updated today's values yet. So in about 6 hours, this is going to look so different. I haven't looked at the price of Bitcoin since this morning. Like I said, I had to drive Tyler to the airport. I had to record an interview on another channel that should be out soon. Caught up on messages, had to argue with people over Dig and Running MOAS. It's a complicated situation, guys. I don't know if I have time to get into it. Well, the stop loss got hit, so there goes that idea. So this is the weekly chart. The week is not over yet, but we fell hard. I am no longer fully bullish to 5,000 unless this candle reverses all the way into end of week. I am now becoming a bear once again, and Jimmy is saying my link doesn't work. What is going on today with Zoom? Give me a sec, guys. Give me 1 second. What the hell is going on? What is going on? Invite link, copy URL. That was weird. Try that again. All right, now it looks like the same exact link. that I sent before. See if we can get Jimmy in here. Yeah, it's the same exact link. There he is. All right. Hey, Jimmy, I got you. You're still muted, though. Yeah, having some Zoom issues today. Strange. I'm gonna go through a price real quick. Let me just make sure your audio works. I still have no video from you, though. There's your video.
All right, can you see me now?
Nope.
Can you hear me
I
now?
don't have you on audio. Oh, that's my bad. That's on my end. Say something.
Hello.
All right, I got you on audio. Hey, I'm wearing the same shirt, man. Check that out. I know we're like in a little corner, but boom, right there.
Very nice, very nice. Bitcoin, yeah. It's a great
All right,
trade.
let's just go through a price real quick, and then we're gonna get to the news. And yeah, this is not good. This is not what I expected from this week. I expected us to at least tread water around 4,000 and then break out to 5,000 before reversal. This reversal is not looking good. We still have a couple of days to go this week. Unless there's a monster rally, this is looking pretty damn bad. And I've always expected sub $3,000 lows. And this is the type of week that can certainly kick that nonsense off. So the weekly chart is looking very weak. The daily chart, this is more than a minor pullback to me. The daily chart, again, like my lines in the sand are being broken. It was that, $3,600 area, and it's not looking good at all. And now the lows are certainly in jeopardy. Here's the 12-hour chart. This morning when we did the video, we were still working on that first candle, I think. Maybe we already started the second candle, but it was just right at the top of that candle. That was a secondary fall. We have now gone lower than the prior low. We didn't close lower than that low, but we've gone lower than that low. Yeah, like I don't see anything bullish right now. I was still optimistic. This was the 4-hour chart. I was saying, hey, the 4-hour chart had a chance of giving you a 9 and staying above the moving average. But then I walked away from the house, and the secondary fall had happened. Everything looks pretty bad. I mean, we got lucky, had to liquidate a couple of Bitcoins yesterday to pay for conference expenses. So that was good. We were able to get a $4,000 plus price to pay for some expenses. So that was great. But other than that, like I said, I was expecting above 4,000 at this point. This is not good at all. Capitulation's coming. This is very weak. Sub 3,000 might happen sooner than I expected. Longs versus shorts. Longs are certainly starting to deleverage. That was one of the fears. One of the fears was that when longs start to get far above the top purple line, once the longs get above this purple line, prices tend to drop, like here. Over here, we dropped a little bit. Then there was that stupid tether thing that didn't really alter anything. And then again, price went above the purple line. We dropped hard. Price just went above the purple line again, and we're starting to drop hard. So anytime the number of longs greatly outweighs the number of shorts, things start to go bad. Was one of the fears. GBTC took a big nosedive down to 4.2. I have not had time to open my trading account today, so I'm still in my long GBTC position. I'll have to I'll think of something. I mean, it's not a full position. I took some exits at a profit. I might wait and add more when I see a buying opportunity, or I might exit that position. It depends. There's still a GBTC premium that works in my favor because I bought it at a perfect GBTC premium. I don't care about Ethereum. If the bear market rages on, the shit coins are going to fall faster than Bitcoin. Hopefully they won't come back this time. This is, the S&P 500. Let me just glance real quick. Oil continues to go up. I thought it would struggle breaking 50. It did not at this point. I am looking for a rejection at 60. I do believe the bear market in oil has begun, and I think it's going to be severe over the next year or two. S&P, hey, S&P is back in the green after some early fears. Unemployment came in at a 4-year low. Unemployment claims came in at a 4-year low. It's amazing how the U.S. economy has never been this strong, and Trump is being blamed for a bad economy. It's really like boggles the mind. That's pretty much it. I don't want to get into individual stocks. I think I've closed all my gold charts, so I don't have those handy either. That's about it for the price, guys. Let's. I know a lot of people have started to enjoy the price thing first. I'm gonna drop screen share. Get on Jimmy on here. How you doing, Jimmy?
I'm good. I'm as much as these drops hurt, I love looking at like CoinMarketCap and seeing that everything else dropped much more than Bitcoin. That's always like sort of the silver lining in these bear markets, is seeing how Ethereum's dropped like 20% and Bitcoin ABC has dropped 20% and all these other things. And that's what we've been waiting for. And I think that's really the point of a bear market, is to get all the malinvestment out. It's been a lot of malinvestment. So that's
yeah. It kind of sucks for us with the conference because we were trying to hold on to the Bitcoin. I was looking for, and that was the thing. Like the big crash from 6,000 was really bad because I was hedging the price of Bitcoin, and as everybody knows, my BitMax account got terminated, so I wasn't able to hedge as the crash happened. I was looking to hedge all of the ticket sales with Bitcoin at that price instead of liquidating the Bitcoin and dealing with potential like tax issues. Wanted to hedge and and transactional cost issues. Wanted to just hedge it within Bitcoin world. And this is what happens when you deal with an unregulated space. So we kind of got screwed there. And now I was looking to, wait for that 5,000 and liquidate a bunch to pay for the expenses. So it's okay. You know what? If it's this is what happens when you do a conference in a bear market. If I lose money on this, I lose money on this. Not the end of the world. We'll make it up at the next one. But yeah.
or we could just do more carnivory dinners or something. There are ways to make money. It's only money.
Right. Okay, so let's jump into the news. We got some very interesting news. Let me go back to screen share and we can cover some of that. So, before I do that, I'm off to Phoenix, Arizona on Saturday, and I'll be speaking at a meetup at the Blockforge office in Mesa, Arizona, in Phoenix. So
that pick is great.
I know, it's awesome. So that'll be fun. And of course, like I already did, check out the Unconfiscatable conference. Let me see, how many people do we have? Oh, I actually, oh yeah, we got a bunch of, oh wow, I actually, like the stories we have today weren't even the 2 stories I wanted to cover this morning. So we might have to do another show. But anyway, hey, let's begin with our headliner. So South China Morning Post is reporting that Jihan Wu will no longer be the CEO of Bitmain. We have suspected this for a long time now, and we've been saying for a while that Bitmain is in serious trouble, and it looks like Jihan Wu is out, and who's replacing him? Wang Haichao is in. I don't know who that is. This should only be a good thing for Bitmain because Jihan Wu was, I don't know, man. He was a little toxic for the space, and his business practices were very frowned upon by other people in the space and within the same space. And yeah, what do you think of this?
Well, first of all, it's not just Jihan; it's also McCree. And if you guys know, if you don't know the history of Bitmain, those two partnered together back in like 2013, and they decided to create Bitmain. They've always been co-CEOs, and Jihan sort of presents himself as the front man, and he's obviously been a lot louder. But McCree was really the big brains behind the operation, because he's the one that had the chip design background, and he knew who to hire and source and things like that. And the fact that they're stepping down, it's probably due to IPO pressures. They haven't been able to get approval in the Hong Kong stock market. They're having trouble, offloading a lot of the excess inventory that they made. They obviously bet way too much on Bitcoin Cash, and I don't even know. I assume that they hold mostly Bitcoin ABC at this point. It's hard to know if they have any Bitcoin SV, but there's a lot of bets that they made, like sort of business decisions that they made in the last couple of years that were just unbelievably bad, and they cost them a lot of money. And as a result, what we've come to is a situation where, like when a company's not doing that well, that's when you change head coaches or CEOs or whatever, right? Like that's what you're supposed to do. So that's what it seems like these guys are doing. They're hoping to turn it around. They still have a significant share in Bitmain, so they'll be a part of maybe the board or something like that going forward. But like when you've made that many bad decisions, like putting in an order of all of these like last generation chips, at a point where they're not really profitable, and having them in inventory, they can't even get rid of them for like $150, like a miner. I mean, you remember these miners were going for like $4 or $5 like a year and a half ago. So it's crazy how how the fortunes have changed for Bitmain, and I suspect that the next CEO will have a lot of cleaning up to do, especially in terms of just they've invested in all sorts of things, and much like I don't know if we covered this story actually. Maybe you should bring it up. But Shapeshift did a pretty big layoff with like
Yep. Next topic, Jimmy.
Yeah. So part of their reasoning there was that they branched out into too many different things. And I think that's what happened with Bitmain. They branched out into too many different things. What they were good at least until they lost some of the talent that they had, was making mining chips. But like they started going off in this like AI direction and started making mining chips or like sort of pseudo ASICs for all these other coins and things like that. That defocused the company. They tried to acquire a bunch of things. They tried to support Bitcoin Cash. They were giving away, like they were investing in almost anything in the Bitcoin Cash ecosystem. I mean, like you can't do that many things and stay on top of your game, at least in a competitive industry like Bitcoin mining. So I mean, I suspect that this is a way to salvage the ship, and this is a way to try to make the best of it.
Yeah, well, so to sum it up, they made three horrendous business decisions, right? One of them was creating a VC investment arm that was investing in clearly stupid projects, and the investing arm was investing in non-Bitcoin projects. So that brings us to quasi number two, which is they aligned themselves with Bcash instead of Bitcoin, creating a complete disaster, and then investing in companies that aligned with them on Bcash. So maybe there's more bad decisions. They converted they bought a shit ton of Bcash. They had over 1 million Bcash last we saw. And they also started making equipment for shitcoins, which seemed like a good idea for about 6 months. And now that's over, right? Like making ASICs for Litecoin and making ASICs for these other shit coins, which is not a viable long-term business. It's a very, very short-term business. And maybe they got their money back, for the research and development of making better ASICs for shitcoins, assuming they cashed out that money. But if they converted it to Bcash, then they're totally screwed, right? So
I think they're holding a lot of that, a lot of what they mined actually,
well,
especially
you're
like
right.
the Dash miners and stuff like that. Their balance sheet has a significant amount of Dash in it.
Yeah, so people don't realize how stupid it is, how stupid it was as a business decision for them to make non-Bitcoin ASICs. And we talked about it here. I've always said it, that it's insane to spend research and development money on improving shitcoins because they're going away. So every company that spent, and I know like the Litecoin people were like happy that, and here's the thing, right? Here's the dumbest part, right? So Bitmain is stupid enough to spend research and development dollars to design a Monero ASIC, and the Monero people are stupid enough to not to want it, and they keep playing cat and mouse games. So Monero is making their currency less secure by playing stupid games and causing Bitmain. It's like a fight. Who can lose more money? It's hilarious. It's the same thing that Craig Wright and Roger Ver are doing, fighting over Bcash. It's like literally a fight. Who can burn more money? So this is the cat and mouse game between ASIC resistance shitcoins and stupid companies that want to build ASICs for shitcoins that don't want ASICs. Like it's like
I mean,
you can't make this shit up.
I mean, they focused on altcoins because they were going up faster and they thought they could make more money that way. But what they ended up doing was they took away from the core of their business, which was Bitcoin miners, and they weren't able to get a next generation miner out. I mean, like if they invested in that, at least they'd have sort of still a significant part. I mean, they still do, I suppose, but they'd be set up for the next few years during a bear market where they'd have the best ASIC miner. They wouldn't have lost the talent. They would have, had, pretty good equipment that not a lot of people could compete with. Instead, they branched out, tried a lot of different things. They tried to quote unquote diversify, and it's very similar to diversifying your crypto portfolio, Tone, right? Like it gives you the illusion of more stability, but in fact you're just setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah, and it's always been so obvious. Diversifying your crypto portfolio into shitcoins is kind of like diversifying your, I don't know, there is no comparison, right? Because all of these shitcoins, they're just more volatility of an unsafe asset, right? So it's kind of like diversifying your volatility of Google with inferior Googles, right? Like you're not diversifying anything. You're just you're creating more volatility to your portfolio, and the chances of those other ones becoming successful is like smaller than 50%. So it's like long-term negative and short-term more volatile. Like I can't think of a dumber thing to do than to diversify your crypto portfolio with shitcoins. If you are
it's completely correlated. Yeah.
Anyway, hey, so moving on with more shitcoin stupid for 200 brings us to Shapeshift. And so Shapeshift is letting go 30% of their workforce because their whole business model revolves around shitcoins being viable. And there's absolutely no real, there's almost no usefulness to Shapeshift. And the only thing Shapeshift had going for them is the no KYC aspect to their business. But like every company, once you start to actually grow and you start to get noticed by regulators, you have to implement KYC. So in this letter, Eric Voorhees talked, I shouldn't talk about people talking too much, but this article definitely could have been, 70% shorter. And me of all the people should not, get on other people for that. So sorry, Eric. But Yeah, so he talked about how once they went KYC, they lost a lot of business, and they lost a lot of business to smaller competitors that don't care about this regulatory structure. I mean, again, I knew where this was headed from the beginning. I was never a fan of Shapeshift. I think I used it once or twice, but barely ever. And oh, shoot, bad timing. 1 second, Jimmy, on you. I'm gonna mute.
Okay. Yeah. So I thought this letter was very heartfelt. I mean, like it's obviously like killing him that he has to go and lay off so many people. It's a very self-reflective letter, and for that I am. It's one of the real glimpses into what it really means to have a bear market in this sort of way, and that's really interesting. And for that reason, I think despite it being long, it's worth reading. Some of the things that he comes up with in the article, some of the realizations that he came up with is, first of all, they expanded in too many directions, and this is something that every company needs to know. Like, you can't do 9 different things very well, right? Like, you can do them like sort of in a half-assed way or something like that, but you're not going to do all of them very well. And they acquired a lot of different things. They had a lot of different businesses, and the core of their business actually suffered as a result. So that's a very good lesson to take away from this, and I'm sure Eric will be a much better CEO as a result. The core of their business, though, is about trading between things sort of anonymously, but then you put in the KYC aspect, and then it sort of becomes like another altcoin exchange. So I don't know where they go from here, right? Like, because if you are KYC'd, maybe you have a little bit more convenience, because you don't have to worry about like when like putting in an order into the order book or whatever. But I don't really know like what your market is at this point, because it's certainly not the people that are looking to trade it anonymously because you have KYC. It's not the traders that like to trade back and forth between altcoins. That's more Bittrex and Poloniex and lots of other ones. So what's your market? And that's really the question I think Eric's going to have to answer for himself, is where is he going to go with this? I would love to see Eric back in the Bitcoin fold and like sort of pivot to more of a Bitcoin centric business. I don't know if he's open to that, but that's where I would love to see him go. I like Eric as a person. He's a really good guy. As far as like like wanting to free people and like as a cause of liberty and things like that. But yeah, it's hard to know where you go as Shapeshift from here.
All right. Hey, thanks for all that, Jimmy. Matt, the chimney sweeper here in Chattanooga, says hi. They just came through Tyler Jakes' apartment to sweep the chimney. That was the fastest process ever, which is great. Yeah. So the last thing I wanted to mention on this, I actually already forgot. They were going to do some kind of a token. I have no idea what the plan is for that still. I gave them
I know they released Salt. They did that a while back.
Independent. No. Salt has nothing to do with Shapeshift. Salt was a separate project that had Eric Voorhees involved. It's completely independent than Shapeshift.
Mm-hmm.
Salt is a useless shitcoin, somehow functioning in the lending of. Anyway, let's not get into Salt. He is already coming down on him. No, but that has nothing to do with Shapeshift. Shapeshift was going to do their own coin. And I gave me and what's his name? Michael Perklin got into a huge argument over whatever token Shapeshift was actually going to create for Shapeshift. Yeah, so that was a little while ago. I have no idea what the plan is for that now. Yeah, did you read Giacomo's? I don't know if he tweeted it out or not, but I'm sure Giacomo won't mind. I love Giacomo's summary of that entire Eric's article, and I will just read Giacomo's word for word from our private group chat, where he quotes, "We failed because of a lack of focus and exposition to shitcoin portfolios. The path forward is to keep focusing on hundreds of shitcoins. That's that was Giacomo's summary of that article. I don't think Shapeshift has much of a future. I don't see this company existing for very long. It's almost like, again, it's not that different than Eric's like first venture, right? The Satoshi Dice. Now, Satoshi Dice was all fun in the beginning. I mean, it was a huge spam onto the Bitcoin blockchain, but it had its purpose, right? It showed you a, I guess, cryptographically and statistically fair gambling game, right? Because like you don't know what the next block is going to be, what the numbers are going to be. So it showed you that it's because random number generators are very, very difficult to create. And
well, the way it worked, it was that you got to see, like basically they gave you a hash image, and you had to they revealed the pre-image as part of the reply, so that you get to supply some of the randomness as much as they do, and then based on that they figure out whether or not you won. So that's provably fair gambling. It doesn't really actually need a fair random number generator, as long as both parties can supply their own portion. That was the really clever part of it, and it was absolutely innovative for its time.
Right, it was, but for that purpose of gambling, it made no sense, right? Now, the concept was great, but Satoshi Dice itself, it's not like you're betting on who's going to win the football game, right? There was absolutely like zero like skill set there, right? You're literally.
I mean, it's exactly the same as a you know, like a slot machine or something. I mean, like there are people that just like doing that, and
right. I also agree that slot machines serve absolutely no actual purpose. I'm okay with gambling when there is like some kind of skill involved, right? Even a blackjack game involves a little bit of skill, or at least a little bit of memorization. And slot machines, like technically speaking, right, slot machines in a casino also involve some skill, because there are professional slot machine players, because they watch slot machines and they do their research and they take statistics.
Well, that's because of regulation. It has to pay out a certain amount of money within a certain amount of time, and then they can figure something out. But I mean, like games of chance, people like games of chance. There's something thrilling about that for some reason, and unfortunately, that's a lot of the people that invested in Bitcoin, actually. But yeah, and they're the ones that have gone away.
All right, so let's stick with, unfortunately, shitcoin some more, and the fallout of the 51% attack on Ethereum and the reorg. Another exchange takes a hit, Yobit.net. And again, this is a lesson of what happens to your exchange when you start offering altcoins. Sure, you can make some good short-term money, but they come in at some serious long-term risk. And now this time around, they had enough deposits, right? They had enough in their, I guess, insurance fund to cover the losses. But I'm not sure if that's provable, right? For all you know, they're telling you that they had enough money in the insurance fund to cover the losses. But if they didn't, they could be running a fractional reserve going forward. Also, if this loss was substantial and no one would believe them that they had the funds, and instead of a run on their exchange, the creators of this exchange could have just ran away with the rest of the crypto. And again, this is the future that I expect from almost every one of these exchanges. Like shit like this happens. Next time this will happen on, let's say, Litecoin, and if they're not able to cover the losses, and they're not able to bullshit their way into pretending that they're covering the losses, their option is to pay out people, 40, 50 cents on the dollar, or run a fake fractional reserve like Mt. Gox, or run away with the money like Cryptsy. Again, there's two things here. One, this shit is unregulated. And two, even if it's regulated, it's Bitcoin. No one can steal your Apple stock from the New York Stock Exchange, right? Or sorry, from the NASDAQ. No one can steal your Disney stock from the New York Stock Exchange. It doesn't work that way because they're centralized. So even if the regulation cuts out some of the bad parts, you're still at risk of getting all that Bitcoin stolen. And I'm not sure how to I mean, you can resolve it as best you can. So you do want to stay with the exchanges where you know who the developers are. Who's the CTO of Yobit? What's their experience in Bitcoin security? If you can't answer that question, you should not be trading there, or at least you should be trading with Bitcoin you're willing to lose. Let's see if they go full centralized on ETC and block the addresses. I wouldn't be surprised. Let's see if the developers of ETC start putting in checkpoints like Bcash did, so that it's no longer decentralized and it's no longer a blockchain. General thoughts, Jimmy, or we can just move on. There's really not much else we can add here.
Well, I have to say that the hackers chose the right, or like the people that did this attack, they definitely chose the right coin, because Ethereum Classic started because Vitalik bailed out a bunch of people. So they know that that's the ethic, or that's sort of the selling point of Ethereum Classic. So by doing this very large reorg and getting a lot of that money, they know that there's almost no chance that they're going to put in checkpoints or roll back the chain or change things, because that's exactly what they were rebelling against. So very interesting sort of psychology there.
I don't know about this. I mean, Bcash and Roger Ver and all of them started because they wanted bigger blocks and they didn't want code changes. They wanted bigger blocks. And then what happened?
No, they did it because they wanted control. That's really,
well, I know, but there was
just like a part of it.
Wait a minute. Well, again, how is Ethereum Classic different, right? Like their excuse was, we're not going to give people their money back. What they really wanted was, why else would Barry Silbert get involved, right? The only reason for Barry Silbert to be involved in Ethereum Classic is for control purposes, not for giving a hacker his Ethereum back. I mean, why would he care, right? More control, because this is why we have the GBTC version of Ethereum Classic, but not Ethereum, right? Because Barry Silbert, I'm sure, wasn't going to put out a quasi ETF on the real stock market of Ethereum where he has no control. Bitcoin is different. Bitcoin, nobody has control, but he knows that Ethereum is controlled. So if he's going to put out if he's actually going to put out a shitcoin for retirees to put their money in, needs to be a shitcoin that he would control. So I can make the same argument for the control side, but going back to Bcash, they split because they wanted bigger blocks and they didn't want code, but then they split again because they wanted code and they didn't want bigger blocks at that point in time. But Craig Wright wanted bigger blocks and no code changes, right? So it's like it flips. So now that you're the one in charge, now that you're the one responsible for the hacker holding on to his Bitcoin, the situation in that boarding room is a little bit different than it was before.
Yeah, it's hard to say because I like the internal politics of something like this are difficult to decipher. But yeah, it's this what happens when you're like a low coin on the totem pole, basically.
All right, and this is cool. I'm going to start this one off with a tweet because this tweet made me laugh. Thank you, Nicole. Not sure if you're watching live where she tweeted out, you watch too much Morning Brief with Leah Wald and Tone Base. But my first thought after seeing the first line in this tweet was about Leah's dog, Thor. So this is referring to, I guess this is the Bit Refill project called Thor, where they would open up Lightning channels, I guess, for people for simplicity purposes, and they would allow these people to connect to the Lightning network. But they will close those channels after 30 days if there's no activity on that Lightning channel. This way, they're not tying up their own Bitcoin. So what do you think about this, Jimmy? I mean, Lightning is progressing so fast. I can't even keep up with the latest news.
Yeah, I mean, this is, I think the way it works is that they're kind of like a custody service. So if you don't want to bother with creating your own Lightning node and running everything that you need to, Instead, you can use a service like this, and basically you can pay them in Bitcoin or something like that, and fund a Lightning channel. Actually, you can fund it with any of those, right? Dash, Dogecoin, Litecoin, or Ethereum. But then you have a Lightning channel with some funds in it. But it's more like Coinbase in a way, I think. I haven't read through their FAQ or anything like that, but that's what it sounds like. Is you'll have an easier time routing. Or you can just sort of have a taste of what Lightning's like. But it's not supposed to be for very much money. So the idea is you're not going to, put like millions of dollars on their system. It's more like, a couple $100 at the most.
Yeah, so they're also working with Dash, Dogecoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum as far as payments go. And this is actually interesting, right? So I think, so Bitrefill, I've met the guys somewhere, I already forgot where. It would be really interesting to see how their Lightning payment offering goes, because a company like this would be the first one to see what kind of volume of payments these shitcoins are doing versus the kind of volume of payments Lightning is going to be doing. And I think keeping an eye on Bitrefill and watching them as they drop Dogecoin and then probably Dash, and then probably I'm not sure which one would go next, Litecoin or Ethereum. It really depends if Ethereum just implodes beforehand or not. So like watch if they start removing these things, right? Because if no one is using Dogecoin, why the hell are they supporting it?
Well, it's a way to fund it. So you can sort of use this as a quasi shapeshift. You can fund your Lightning channel with Dogecoin. They'll do the conversion from Dogecoin.
Okay, no, that's okay. No, wait. You missed what I was saying, right? So sure, you can fund your Lightning channel with any of these shitcoins, including Doge, but they specifically say any of our supported payment methods. So Bitrefill themselves as a company are supporting Dash, Dogecoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum payment methods. So the question is,
payment into your Lightning channel. Yeah.
No. I think it's payment methods for whatever their company does in general.
Oh, I mean, that might be true, but at least at least the way I understood this post is you can start a Lightning channel by funding it with Dogecoin. That's what I thought.
Yeah, no, but right, but here is Bitrefill in general has nothing to do with Lightning, right? They just added Lightning. So Bitrefill, what exactly do they do? Something with gift cards. Whatever it is.
I thought it was pay with Bitcoin or altcoins.
Right. So
they're pay stuff. Yeah.
Right. So they're natively supporting Dogecoin and Dash and Litecoin, right? So the question is, are they going to stop, right? Like eventually, if no one is using Dogecoin to pay for shit, why is a company wasting developer resources supporting it? So if Bitrefill is going to be with us in 3 to 4 years, they're going to start dropping the shitcoins as payment options because no one's going to be using them, right? So as they drop them one by one or all together, and a company like that, like maybe in a year or so, would be good to interview somebody from there to see what kind of volume they're getting. Not like who cares who's funding the channel. To be honest with you, I got like $10 or $20 of Litecoin in my phone wallet, and I have no idea what to do with it. Maybe I can ask them right now because they have a live chat support.
Yeah, what is up with that? I guess they're showing that. I mean, look, pretty obvious. You can get that sort of data from other vendors that are doing something similar. Most of the time, it ends up not being worth it. Most people use crap coins to just trade, not really pay for things or whatever, as much as people try to do like promote their coin for method of payment use cases, it almost never ends up being the case. So I imagine that'll be true. Like most of these will just stop supporting it because it'll be a trickle very quickly. Even with Bitcoin, like not many people use it as a method of payment for a lot of things. A lot of, Dell used to take it. I think they still might. Expedia used to take it. They don't anymore. It's just the way of things because it's a better store of value.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, like, it's particularly interesting to me in this company because they're also accepting Lightning, right? Because I want to see how Lightning usage goes up for small transactions versus the shit coins that they're also supporting. So it's like direct apples to apples comparison. I can actually see a future where companies are only accepting Lightning payments and they're not accepting Bitcoin because they don't want to deal with on-chain fees.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, that could definitely happen, especially for micro. Yeah.
Oh, micro, or they would like outsource because it would be very, very cheap for a middleman company like a Bitrefill or whoever to give them a Lightning payment solution versus giving them a Bitcoin payment solution. Because then,
I mean, that's what BTC Pay does now. Is I think you can hook in Lightning if I'm not mistaken, instead of Bitcoin.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and close that, and that's pretty much it. I actually had two more stories that I forgot to cover. I don't know if I haven't read them yet, and that's why it's a problem. So we'll probably cover them on the next show. One of them is this thing about some professor talking about how, well, what happened here? Talking about how Russia is gonna buy Bitcoin. I have no idea what the hell is going on there. I need to read the article. I have not had time to.
What does this university professor know? Yeah.
Probably nothing. The article starts out, a Russian university lecturer with ties to the government. I mean, I think if you're a university professor, you're already by default have ties to the government as that job. But yeah, so I need to read this article. I find this to be, I don't know. I'm not buying it off the headline. And the other one that we might save for next time, because I haven't read the details. A billionaire's wife got kidnapped. A Norwegian billionaire wife got kidnapped. I'm not sure where she got kidnapped. And maybe this is something to talk about. And they're demanding a ransom in Monero. Now.
Oh yeah. And it's like it's like a decent percentage of their market cap that they're demanding. Yeah.
Right. So a couple of things here. First of all, that is a lot of Monero. That's not going to be easy to get. This is what happens when you keep hearing on the news that Monero is more anonymous than Bitcoin. I think if this ransom is actually paid in Monero, it might actually be easier to find these people because they're going to have to unload the Monero somewhere, which is a lot harder to do. Like, again, this is the problem, right? There's also another thing. Monero is significantly more centralized than Bitcoin. So like some serious global governments can put pressure on Monero. Like, this has to be horrible for Fluffy Pony because he is the face of Monero. And he can definitely be like he can, and I like Fluffy. He can, go on every single podcast, including mine, and scream to the heavens that he doesn't have control of Monero, and no one is going to believe him, right? That is the problem. Where in Bitcoin, there is nobody you can blame. But in Monero, there is. And I know that's not true. Now, well, borderline not true, right? Like, I know Fluffy Pony doesn't really have any control over the future of Monero, but he has 1,000 times more control than any person I can name in Bitcoin has over Bitcoin. And that's the problem, right? Like the probability of 0 is significantly smaller than the probability, or like a percentage of 0 is very different than a percentage of 2, right? Even though you can't do much with 2%. So this is one of the problems that you're facing when you have this incorrect feeling that Monero is somehow more private than Bitcoin, when in reality it's not.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with them, but I think the thing I would fear more if I were Fluffy is them succeeding, right? Like if Monero, if this does get paid in Monero, guess who's going to be guess who else is going to be in danger? I'd be reviewing my OPSEC right now if I were Fluffy.
Yeah, so this is I mean, this is bad on many, many levels. And I mean, I'm hoping that, they get the, they savor without it. There was an incident down in Brazil where an exchange operator's wife was kidnapped. They were demanding like $70 million worth of Bitcoin. And but they were able to rescue her and without paying the ransom, and people got killed that kidnapped her, and in the process, from what I've read in the articles. So there are ways to recover people safely, but yeah, this is not good for the entire crypto space. But this notion that Monero will somehow protect the kidnapper by being more private is, I believe, is very incorrect.
I think so too.
All right. I already covered price, guys. I know I have 1,400 viewers. We can glance at it again. It's pulling back up a little bit, but this is not a good sign. I do have to wait for the day to end. I try not to react quickly on moves like this. The weekly candle still has a few days to go. The daily candle still has this. I mean, the moment we fell, below 3,800, below the moving average, things turned very bad. Right now, I am leaning bearish to sub 3,000, but I do need to wait for the day to end. Keep an eye on tomorrow's videos for more updates on price. I've always been a bear throughout this market. I continue to say that I am looking for sub 3,000. However, I have been looking for a bounce to 5,000. That is now starting to get very unlikely.
Do you want to pull up Coin Market Cap and just rejoice over all the altcoins that are also?
I really haven't looked,
dropping?
but let's take a look at the 24.
Yeah, so Bitcoin dropped 9%. Pretty much everything else has dropped around 15%.
Wow.
Yeah. So in that
Wow.
way, I'm very hopeful that this drop like clears out all of the dregs.
Yeah, but it's also what I've been saying. Like, oh, hey, the stable coins are up. Tether and Tether is back to being over $1. Don't you love
yeah,
that?
which is weird. Yeah.
And
It looks like a crypto flight to safety, something like that. All of
and
these
it, al-
stable
and it
coins.
always is. Only the stable coins are up, really.
Mhm.
And it goes to show you, like, once we popped, and the moment I saw shit coins like Bitcoin Cash going up 200%, like Ethereum going up 100%, the moment I saw all of these altcoins, Litecoin went up in bigger by percentage terms. The moment I saw these altcoins go up higher in percentage terms than Bitcoin, I knew the bear market wasn't over. I will continue to say that the bear market will not end until Bitcoin goes up and the rest of the shit stays down. Best case scenario, the rest of the altcoins go up slower. The reality of the situation, the altcoins will not go up at all as Bitcoin goes up. And my perfect scenario is that Bitcoin starts to go up and the altcoins continue to go down. It'll certainly be one of those three until you see one of those three scenarios noticeably. Expect lower and lower prices of Bitcoin and lower, 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 lower prices of everything else.
Yeah, it's crazy. There's still 11 coin or 10 other coins besides Bitcoin with over $1 billion market cap. That's still crazy to me.
All right, cool. I mean, that's about it. Hey, guys, don't forget to check out Phoenix this Saturday. I will be speaking at a meetup Saturday night. And of course, the update on Unconfiscatable. We currently only have 4 tickets up for sale for poker. We will then reevaluate and harass the celebrities to pay up. If not, a few more tickets will open up. Speaking of which, I think you paid, right, Jimmy?
I don't think I got a bill or any. I don't think so. Nobody's
Okay.
giving me anything.
All right, we're gonna take care of that one then. Yeah, because Jimmy Song has to play in the game. So yep, we will. Yep, we'll send that out to you today.
Okay. All right. Great. Can I show my own stuff?
Oh
Programming
yeah.
blockchain.
Oh yeah, I got it. There you go.
Yeah. So there,
Oh.
there we are. So yeah, Las Vegas is happening. So today is the 10th of January. So today is the last day before you can get the 2-week advance price, the discount price for Las Vegas. And in a couple days, it will be the deadline for the early bird rate for London. So if you're interested at all, please apply right now because yeah, you don't want the price to keep going up or whatever. So that's it. Other than that, please come to Tone's conference in Las Vegas, and then a couple weeks later, the Advancing Bitcoin conference in London. So, yeah, there you.
I will be there. I will be there as well, Advancing Bitcoin. I will be in Paris the weekend before that.
So you're not going to Roundtable, I guess?
I'm not. I can't afford it. I'm broke. Bitcoin is down. No, I'm gonna head over to Paris. I'm gonna head over to this. I'm one of their headline speakers. I mean, they've been after me for a while. Unfortunately, sorry, Bruce. I'll try and make it next year if the price of Bitcoin is accommodating. And and I don't know why it's not loading, but the Paris Blockchain Summit is the 31st of January, 31st January and February 1st. I will be going there immediately after Unconfiscatable. I don't even get a break. Probably not the smartest thing to do, but that's where I will be.
I don't know, Tom. You're an extrovert. You take a break when you're around other people and you're not responsible for some stuff. So that's I think that's gonna be relaxing for you.
It'll be good to see Amir again. Giacomo will be there. It'll be a good one. It'll be a good one.
Good.
All right, cool. All right. Oh wait, I'm not even sharing that. Jesus.
Yeah. There. No, you weren't. Yeah, there you were. All right.
There it is. It was loading anyway. So there it is. Amir Taki, Giacomo Zucco. I don't think I'm familiar with Alexandra's work.
Yeah.
Founder at
You
Lambo.
should ask Amir about his work on Grin. See what he says.
Is he working on Grin?
I think so. I mean, he's really into privacy. That's at least the impression I've gotten.
All right, I'll find out. All right, cool. All right, on that note, hey guys, thank you for watching. Jimmy, thanks for coming on. Definitely no more videos today. And I'll see you all tomorrow. I got to do 2 podcasts tomorrow. I'm recording with Peter McCormick for What Bitcoin Did. I'll also be on the Bitcoin group, our old show, man, from the World Crypto Network. I'll be on there.
You're going back on the Bitcoin group. Wow,
yeah,
you're on Vortex's show. You're doing the circuit for this conference, huh?
Yeah, I'm doing the circuit for the conference. I mean, Thomas will be at Unconfiscatable doing some content, and it'll be good to see him again. So I'll be on that show. So, and we got to squeeze in our own show. So like, hey, that's the life, man. That's the life.
That is the life. Tough life, Tone. You get to like interact with people and talk all day for money. Oh my God.
Hey, no one pays me to do these things.
Hey, it's marketing. It's marketing.
And you do what you do. You do what you love, and hopefully the money comes later. All right, man.
Yeah. All right. Well, this song is done. You do your sign off, Tone.
Good luck trading out there, guys. Talk to you all later.